pause.
That's unnecessary.
You think?
Yes.
You think that was unnecessary?
Very much so.
You married literally a physical embodiment of the word unnecessary.
I realize that now.
You do you? Almost 11 years in, and you're like, what have I done?
Yeah.
So much wasted motion.
Yep.
That's Zach Van Sliders. That could be my t-shirt. The physical embodiment of unnecessary on the front, on the back, just ... so much wasted motion. I think that's good.
But I'm the physical embodiment of we've come this far, so fuck it. This is what we're doing.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah.
That's your back of your t-shirt. The front is we've come this far, so so fuck it. The back is ... in for a penny, in for a pound.
Yep.
All right.
I guess we're meant to be.
Yeah, right? Yeah, meant to be. Meant to be. I think you're just too lazy to force me.
Yep.
Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good, it's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming. You, dear listener, have chosen whatever reason to tune into another Horrible Gaming Podcast. And sitting far too close to me is my lovely wife, Melissa. Oh my god. So, as you guys could tell, Neil could not do the show today. He has COVID. So everybody wish him healing sentiments. I checked in on him. He's doing all right. But he's just not going to be able to do the podcast today. Which sucks, because I was trying to get out of doing a podcast today. But we're here. Because we don't miss weeks. So my lovely wife has decided yet again to fill in. Even though I forgot to hit that button, even though yeah, we are kind of alone, and she doesn't do games, and yeah, so
You get professionalism here.
yeah. So are you excited to be on the show?
Sure.
I tried to pick a topic that you could contribute to because it's very financially driven. So that sounded insulting. I didn't.
I'm cheap. In case nobody knew.
That's not what I meant.
Cheap AF.
So, that being said, before we can get into it, we've got to thank a couple of people. But behind our disheveled Sunday morning faces are a beautiful original
It's not
graphic.
morning anymore.
It's not. Don't tell them that. They don't need to know that. Is a beautiful originally generated graphic. All the originally generated graphics here for OMG are provided by Mr. Mark Bell. We thank him for that. And of course, the theme song for this show and all shows here at Old Man Gaming are provided by the man who makes the music, my brother, Nick Van Sliders. We thank him for that.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so that brings us to our first segment, our most important segment. That is Fan-Ter-Raction. That's where we, the co-hosts, talk to you guys, the fans, and all the capacities in which you wish to comment to me and Neil, who is not here, but I will speak for him.
Don't do that.
That's how it works for podcast
Neil
hosts.
can speak for himself next
Once you've
time.
been podcast hosting enough, you can speak for the other person.
No.
Yeah, that's how it
Neil
works.
can speak for
It's definitely
himself
how it
next time. Neil, you don't deserve this. I know you'll watch this. You don't deserve this. He doesn't speak
I don't know
for
that
you.
he'll watch this. He
The
often
only
doesn't
person who
watch our
speaks
stuff
for
back.
you is Kayla. Damn it.
There you go. All right, so getting into it. First, we had Backdraft. To be honest, the only game I'm truly looking forward to is Slime Rancher 2.
Sounds exciting.
Both my heart and my ass is a little too overused by all the game promises from this year that I'm pretty much Ultra Instinct hipster hate all game companies at this point.
There's a lot to unpack.
There's a lot.
Wow. Wow.
There is a lot to unpack in that statement. Backdraft.
Do I know this person?
Yeah, it's Josh.
The Boots. Right?
He's gonna hear this.
That's alright. You bought Boots, right?
So he's just the Boots to you now?
I mean, I could talk about the
Here
other thing
too.
you
Josh,
purchased.
your name is the Boots now. Your
The
nickname's
Boots
the
guy.
Boots. The Boots.
Look,
Yeah, the
I'm
Boots.
bad with names.
Boots, kilt, had
Yeah,
the hat
gotcha.
on, the wide brim
Okay.
cattleman's hat.
Okay, this statement makes more sense now. Just kidding.
No, I get where Josh is coming from. I don't know that. Like I said, I think that this year has actually been better overall than like last year, which was just a desert of suck. But what's weird about this year is all the good games that were promised to come out at the beginning of the year did, and all the good games that were supposed to come out at the end of the year just haven't. They've all been delayed. There's almost nothing in the back half of the year, and we've hit this kind of surprise drought. And it's weird. It kind of brings up kind of weird things. Like, we used to have this holiday season for gaming where it was like between September and Christmas, you always had like 7 to 10 big AAA launches. Now, because of delays, it almost like that season happens at the beginning of the year, like January to March, I feel like. So it's been
They're going for your tax return, not your Black Friday spending.
There you go. So the only thing that we have right now coming is Skull and Bones, which many people are unhappy with because there's not certain features in it. But that for AAA titles, it's like the only thing coming.
Gotcha.
You look like you're crying right now. Can you please tell the people I did not hurt you in any way, shape, or form?
This camera's not good enough to pick that
I don't
up.
want people like writing in comments that are like, tell us if you need help. Like,
When I yawn, my eyes water, and my face is very swollen today, so...
it's been that kind of day.
For no good reason.
It's a bad day. All right, so continuing with the... whoops, did that wrong, but that's fine. Asylum 66, did you know Microsoft did an hour summer of gaming for a bunch of Warhammer games? A few looked interesting, too. And then I responded to him by saying, not sure how I missed it. I will look into it, and... I'm going to go ahead and say right now, I did not look into it whatsoever. However...
Professionalism.
Right? That's what we offer
That's what
here.
you get here.
That's what we offer here. However, I did see that one of those games has been delayed. Just so you know, I cannot remember which one, but I did see a Warhammer game just recently got delayed. Post that show. Moving on, we got good friend William Houen. Hi! Exclamation point. So I never thought you were the one deleting comments. That said, it's quite awful that you have to delete weird posts yourself while normal comments are deleted by YouTube. Anyway, I'll continue posting here to help with the algorithm, but I'll copy and paste it on your Discord to be sure. That's really nice of you, Will. That's really nice of you to do it twice. I
Neil's
appreciate
never
it.
seen a Rocky movie?
No, he hasn't.
Wow.
Can you wait until I read it? No.
Sorry.
So then, Neil, you've never seen a Rocky movie? Dude. Then he says, thanks for the show. Hashtag long hashtags are hard to read. Long hashtags are hard to read. Hashtag long hashtag. We have a hashtag joke, me and Will. Yeah, Neil's never seen it, and it almost derailed the entirety of last show because I was so upset by it.
Movie?
None
Like
of
even
them.
the newest one
None
with
of them.
Michael B. Jordan?
No, he says he hasn't seen any Rocky movies whatsoever,
Wow.
which is... I don't know, I feel like they take your citizenship card away if you haven't seen a Rocky movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the level of it. Like, even if you don't like them, it's like, it's required
You have
watching.
to have seen at least one of them.
Yeah, like seriously. I mean, frick, there's 9 of them now, so like...
Is there really? There is that many, isn't there?
There will be 9 when the third Creed comes out. There's 8 currently that you can actually watch.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
if you count the Creed. I don't know,
Most.
some people might not count the Creed. And it's actually getting a spin-off. They're going to do Draco. Ivan Draco's kid from the last
Okay.
Creed is going to get his own movie. Yeah.
God forbid they make any original movies.
The RCU, Rocky Cinematic Universe. We want a Rocky Avengers where it's just a bunch of punching. So much punching. You can't stop the punching. Punching everywhere.
Isn't that just the Avengers?
No, there was some kicking.
Oh, yeah.
And some throwing of
They
items.
fly, they
Yeah.
use magic. and
Yeah,
they-
yeah. They use magical stuff, you know. Mjolnir, the hammer, of Thor.
I know. I knew what you were trying to say.
Okay. Asylum 66. I just played Empire of Sin. Never would have thought that was a John Romero game. Looks like I'm moving to Discord soon. That will make a few people happy. It's going to make me happy there, Asylum. I can't believe I used to lightly defend Halo Infinite crap. Yeah, man. Yeah, and then, I don't know, the no matchmaking thing that Neil talked about last time, like, hashtag boycott Halo for life, man. And I'm glad you're moving to Discord. It is a superior chat program, especially across, like, with crossplay stuff, than Xbox is. And then Backdraft responded to him and said, yes, conform. Honestly, not to call out Asylum 66, but now knowing him, I'm kind of surprised he just doesn't refuse to conform just to be that guy. He likes to do it just to get the argument.
Everybody, you have to conform eventually to whatever it is.
All right, so that is Fantraction for the show. That's it. Do you have anything to add to Fantraction?
Thanks for the comments.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, she's sitting here like, this needs to be over as soon as possible. I'm not going to add anything. If it's like, do you think anything else? Her answer's always going to be like, nope, I don't think anything. What do you
want me to add to this? I know nothing about any of this, other than Neil never having watched a Rocky movie, which is just surprising. It seems
it's an assault.
More well-rounded than that.
He's not with movies. That's Neil's biggest weakness.
Really?
Every time I quote a movie, he'll be like, I don't know what you're doing.
Well, I don't
Tombstone, I had to force him to watch. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, I had to force him to watch. He's never watched any of the Rockies. He never watched any of the John Wicks before me. Like, he's terrible. He's terrible about movies. Better be careful there. Better be careful. Ridiculous. This is what I have to deal with. I mean, not like John Wick. All right. We're going to be right back with our talking point.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Welcome back.
You can't say it until I take the thing down. Now you can say welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to do our talking point today. I know last time...
They didn't really go anywhere.
What?
They didn't really go anywhere.
They might have. They might have pressed pause and gotten out of their cars and went to work and then come back to listen to it on their way home.
I love how you have, like, a thing in your head of, like, exactly how everybody's listening to this.
I mean, it could have been they were at work and they had to pause so that they could talk to an associate. Or maybe their wife came in and was like, get off the podcast, it's time to eat dinner. Something
Nobody
like that.
eats dinner with their spouses anymore.
I think Asylum does, actually.
Really?
Which is weird, yeah.
We eat
Either that or he came up with a good excuse to not play games with me the other night.
The spouse is always a good excuse. I am sure you've lied and been like, my wife, man, she's a fucking fuck.
Nope, can't think of one time.
Lies. Bullshit.
First of all, I've never said my wife, man, a fucking fuck. I've never said that. I can assure you of that. I can assure you of that. I don't know if I've ever used
In
you.
any case, if Zach's using me as an excuse, it's probably a lie.
That is not true.
That is totally
There
true.
are plenty of times where you're sick and I'm telling them you're sick.
Yeah, but what does me being sick have to do with anything? It's not like you're taking me to the hospital.
No. Okay. All right. I'm going to tell you right now, if this was different and we were at home and she was sick and I'd be like, yeah, I'm just going to go hang out with my friends for 4 hours while you're sick. She'd be like,
I wouldn't care.
Okay, I guess. That's fine. That's fine.
And in my mind,
I mean, you hung out with them 2 weeks ago, but that's fine. That's totally fine.
I have never...
I'll just be here.
I have never... God, now I know you use me as an excuse.
I don't think I've ever really used you as an excuse. I've told people, like, who have invited us to things and been like, Melissa wouldn't want to do that. I've said stuff like that. But, like, I don't think I've ever, like, used you as an excuse to get out of something. I'm not going to say 100% because I might have. I'm not above it. I just don't think I can remember a time when I have. And just to reiterate, the talking point of this episode is not how to use your spouse to get out of things. She just derailed me. So, I can see your eyes. Well, what we got to do here is we're going to be talking about free-to-play and not free-to-play, full price and not full price, discount and whatnot. Especially since we have, right now we have Multiverses that just came out, WB platforming fighting game that is free-to-play. While you have, on the other side of things, you have Dragon Ball Z Breakers coming out in September, which is just a 4v1 asymmetric multiplayer, which is not free-to-play. And really, that's really the question is, what's the line? What is the line? When should you charge $60 for things? When should you make it a free-to-play game and use microtransactions to get your money? That's really the question. I have a specific stance on this. Do you want to weigh in before I say that stance? Or just wait till I say that stance and then tell me why I'm wrong?
I like that one.
Okay. All right. So my stance is this, and has been this. If your game has enough content to warrant a $60 price tag or even a $40 price tag, and it has less microtransactions, then yes, make it full price. If you look at a game like Destiny 2, it has a large, involved storyline that is continued to add to, which you can technically play solo most of it, not the raids or the night strikes or whatever. While it is an MMO and build as such, you can play it alone, and it has that large amount of content. So a $60 purchase price is alright, in my opinion. Plus, all the microtransactions there are cosmetic. That being said, you then have the other side of the spectrum, what should be free to play. Sorry, distracted by a text. So basically, I think personally, if your game is just a one-note multiplayer, which is okay, I'm not trying to insult it, but like Dead by Daylight, most battle royales like Naraka and stuff like that, they should be free to play. You work on Battle Pass money. That's how you do it. You shouldn't be making people pay $40 or $60 for a game that's literally one online, always multiplayer mode. I think those should definitely be free to play, while your big priced games should be things that are all encompassing, that you can play hours of by yourself without having to worry about buying into something else. And that's something that actually bothers me about Breakers is going to have a full release price tag. And it is literally just one person versus 4 over and over again with just a series of maps.
I don't know. It's hard. I mean, I can't get into the specifics about different games because I'm not familiar, but like there's a part of me that's like, first of all, if I'm paying for a game, fuck your microtransactions.
Okay.
Like that makes me mad.
There's a lot of people who agree with you on that.
I feel like if you're paying full price for a game, you should get the game, and that should be it. There shouldn't be all your DLCs and your aftermarket bullshit that goes with it. Like, if I pay for a game, I want the game. I do understand, though, some updates are like a technological advancement.
Right.
Which then kind of pushes back on what I just said, but whatever.
I mean, also, you've got to consider the tail end of something. So, like Destiny 2. Destiny 2 came out in like 2014, I think. 2015, guys? I'm not sure. So, we're looking at... And it still has a player base. So, we're looking at, what, like...
6 years, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand some of that is just technological advances because the game is still out there and people are still playing it. And you paid full price for a game, and by all means, it should last 6 years or whatever. But technologically, it would need some updates to be able to last. So that kind of negates what I was just saying, that if I paid full price, I don't want to have updates. So I guess I just screwed my own point. But on the flip side of that, it's hard for me to say that anything should be free. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, notoriously free-to-play games really aren't free. Like, I mean, they can be free, but you have to put an ungodly amount of work into them to keep them free and keep playing them. You know, most free-to-play games come with tons of microtransactions that if you don't necessarily opt into, you don't get the full experience. I mean, you look at a game like Brawlhalla or Multiverses, which is the platform fighting games, how they do their free-to-play is they have so many characters. Well, if you're playing free, you can only, each week it rotates the 3 that you can play. So you can't always play your favorite character. You would have to constantly.
But I
rotate
mean,
around
that's
the same
fair
person.
if you're not paying anything. But there's a part of me that's like, you shouldn't get anything for free. I mean, these companies are in business to make money. Like,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not, this is a capitalistic society.
It is. It is.
That's
We talked about that
capitalism.
on here.
But so I don't know. But at the same time, like, if nothing was free, I probably wouldn't pay for it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's tricky. My thing. I keep coming back to the content, honestly, because like if I'm paying $60 for basically what seems like it would be a feature of another game, then I don't feel like I'm getting.
But where do you
$60
draw
for it.
that line on? And that was
That's
something
what
that
we're
you
talking
said
about,
was
yeah.
like, if a game is all encompassing, then I'll pay $60 for it. But who determines what's all encompassing? Like, where's that line of this makes it free to play, this makes you have to pay for it?
Well, I think in a lot of ways, I mean, like you look at, you're really looking at the divide between content heavy, like story content heavy MMOs and like multiplayer versus sort of games. And you have your content heavy MMOs, they have like 40, 60 hours of content in there, baked in there, that you can do without buying anything extra. We're playing. Unfortunately, and I'm sure I'm going to get this in the comments and get ahead of it. Yes, they do. They have a lot of grindy mechanics that they use to still kind of prey on you with microtransactions. I'm not arguing with that, but we're just talking about the base price. Still, those things have these huge content heavy things, whereas you then look at something like Breakers or Multiverses for that, or Naraka, and it's one mode. And yeah, you can play it over and over again. It's a very dynamic mode, but it's one mode, and that's it. There's no story to it. There's no nothing. And before I get the comments, yes, I know these things have stories, but they're very small. They're very minor. They're very minute. The overall experience in-game does not really include a story. You get dropped into a mode, and you have a very clear objective. Like Naraka is 60-person battle royale. You get dropped into a big map. You have to loot. You have to kill. The arena shrinks until there's one person left. Breakers, anything asymmetric is one character is just overpowered and trying to hunt the other four characters, while the other four characters have to accomplish some task to defeat the one player. So that's asymmetric. So Dead by Daylight, one player plays a killer. It's a horror game. One player plays a killer. Everybody else plays the survivors trying to escape the killer. Breakers is one person is playing like the scary Dragon Ball Z character who's just a world killer, while the other four are playing just like normal dudes, not other scary DBZ characters. That's kind of the asymmetric thing. In that kind of situation, I feel like those games are made to be free to play. They're made to survive on their microtransactions, on their battle passes. Like, that's what they're made to do, because they're just one mode. They're just one mode being thrown at you. You look at, like, Call of Duty. Okay. Sorry, you were about to say something?
Well, but, I mean, it still cost money and took effort to make that one mode.
It did.
Like, this is where I feel like
okay.
I'd rather see games not, for the most part, am I wrong, in that a game is typically either $60 or it's free. Like, there's very little in between.
There are a lot of discounts. But they're not, I mean, they usually fall into the indie category or the multiplayer category of this kind of thing.
I don't know. It's hard for me. And I wouldn't typically see myself as someone who defends, like, by all means they should get paid. They made it, but they should get paid. They made it. And I feel like sometimes some of the other games that are charged at full price are probably aren't really worth it, are because they have to offset the cost of all these other free-to-play games.
Right.
I'd rather pay $5 for this game that's free-to-play and $40 for this game that really shouldn't be $60. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing, and this is a countering you more out of, like, you don't follow gaming news as much, but
fair, I don't.
games that are free to play typically make way more money than games that don't have microtransactions and are just $60.
Okay.
Way more money. They're actually usually offsetting the price of your $60 microtransaction free releases.
Really?
Yeah, because the problem is we live in in gaming, everybody expects the next thing right away. So even the games that come out that are like big $60 purchases that are just story driven, there's no microtransactions. The minute they're done, people are like, "Oh, we can't wait to see the next DLC." You know what I mean? And yes, those games usually have a price tag attached to their DLCs. It's not usually free updates, but now free updates are becoming more and more prevalent in that kind of situation in space. Whereas free-to-play games, yeah, they're free. You get in, but then immediately there's so many things that are probably a little bit more predatory than the $60 upfront price, but so many things to purchase and buy for small prices, small amounts of money. You know, like cosmetic updates, season battle pass stuff, all of that thing, and that's where they make a lot of their money on these kind of games. So it's a real murky, tricky water to be in. But personally, I don't see them putting as much work into those smaller asymmetrical projects than they do into those big content-heavy games, which is another reason that I kind of feel like
they should be free.
Yeah. I mean, look, when it comes to just narrative-driven single-player games, okay, those should be $60. I don't think there's any question. You shouldn't be getting those for free because you're literally getting the package deal. You know what I mean? I'm more worried about, like, where do we draw the line on multiplayer games? Because on games with microtransactions, should we be doubling up on the microtransactions with the $60 MMO purchases? Or should we have, or should they be free to play if they have microtransactions? Like the free to play games are just loaded with microtransactions. That's how they make their money. But you still have these like full release, fully multiplayer games that have huge battle passes and microtransactions in them.
I feel like that's wrong.
Yeah.
If you pay full price for a game, you shouldn't. Like, if you want to charge people extra to make their character look different or whatever, like cosmetic stuff, fine, whatever. But if it affects the gameplay itself, I don't think that should be right. If you're spending that much money on a video game, you should get the full video game.
And before anybody corrects me, yes, I know Destiny 2 is free to play now. It was not when it released. Just want to point that out. That's why I was using it as an example. But
what about, like, are there any video games that aren't mobile games that have, like, ads in them?
No, not. I mean,
banner ads or, like, in between levels.
It's more like product placement.
Oh, okay.
Like one of the most famous ones is Kojima. Kojima's stupid ass Death Stranding. The main character was just pounding Monster Energy drinks most of the time. It's like very obvious that Monster gave him money for that. Like there are stuff like that, and they've been talking about that for a long time. Like and product placement.
Like ad like banners that are like based on your Google history or whatever.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. Nothing like that stuff. Or those ones where like you finish a round and then you've got to wait 30 seconds while you watch what's happening in Toon Blast. Like like something like that. Like the latest project from King Games. Candy Crush Soda, Soda Corn. Yeah.
But I mean, all those mobile games and stuff obviously make money, and a lot of them are free.
Mobile games, make a ton of dough.
On shitty ads that I don't. The only people who ever touch them that I'm aware of is like Stella, because she doesn't know any better.
So bad with the mobile game. Yeah, I wonder what you guys think. When do you guys think a game should definitely be free to play? I mean, I think if a game's free to play, it has to have microtransactions. That's the way to be. Should it never be free to play? We always pay
or advertisements.
Something. Or advertisements. Like, what do you guys think? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are.
I'd rather see advertisements than microtransactions.
Yeah, I don't mind product placement. Like that was something
product placement wouldn't bother me.
That was something that me and Neil.
Kind of an advertisement.
I want to say a few months ago we had a discussion about it where he was really disgusted by the potential of that in games, and I was like, I don't fucking care if you can give me a game for less money, and I have to.
Yeah, because Monster.
I have to
wanted
wear
pay
Nikes.
money.
Like, okay, like my character has to wear Nikes. Sure, whatever. Like, I don't. That kind of stuff doesn't really bother me as long as it doesn't detract from the quality of the
Right.
actual play. Like,
I'd rather
that's when-
see product placement or ads just than microtransactions.
Right.
I don't ever want to have, and this makes me sound really old. I'm just gonna preface it now.
Here we go.
I'm old.
Old Man Gaming. That's the name of the channel.
I don't ever want to have my bank account linked to my video game.
That's
like,
fair.
I know that they are. Like, obviously, you buy games on Steam, your bank account, or some sort of payment
Yeah.
form is linked in there. But I don't want it to be that easy.
Yeah.
Like, you hear all these stupid, like, memes or joke. I know you don't hear memes, but you see memes or hear jokes about, like, the mom who got her credit card bill and there was $7,000 to, what was that stupid game that people would do the
Fortnite?
dances from? Yeah. Fortnite. Because it shouldn't be that easy
Yeah.
for you to make microtransactions, because I think I'm a relatively intelligent human being. I would accidentally do it, I'm sure of it. And
Right.
then, you know, God forbid you put your kid on a game.
Well,
like,
and that gets into the morality of microtransactions as a whole in gaming right now, which I don't necessarily think we should go into, but like you look at like loot boxes, which is just all basically gambling. You look at the way that they do microtransactions for cosmetics, where kids don't understand what they're doing. You
Right.
know, like it's very like, we're gonna get the people who are too dumb to know
Yeah.
better, and that's a little bit frustrating.
and you shouldn't have to pay to up the game, even if it is a free to play game. I would rather see banner ads or ads between levels or whatever
Yeah.
than microtransactions.
Yeah.
And or product placement. I don't give a shit what, if you have a Coke
Well-
machine in the background. I don't care.
I don't necessarily mind the battle passes when they're alone. I don't like when you can buy other stuff, but you know what a battle pass is?
No.
So a battle pass, the idea behind it is you have 2 trees on a battle pass, okay?
Okay.
And then it'll be like a season. It'll go from this month to this month, so usually pretty long, like 3 or 4 months season.
Okay.
And so all those microtransaction games, they run on seasons now.
Okay.
So like Naraka's in season whatever, and then I actually think Naraka just names it without a number, but like Halo's in season 3 and
Okay.
stuff like that. And what they do is they switch up the battle pass, and then the battle pass, as you play, you earn experience towards the battle pass. And you level up in the battle pass, right? And then the top tree is the free tree. So like every 4 levels you'll get something here and there, and you can earn it. Whereas on the bottom tree, like, you pay for that. You pay $9.99, and then you unlock the bottom tree for the month, and then as you play, you earn more shit. So it's not, you could see everything you could possibly earn. You can see how long it will take you to play to what you're going to get. You can see all of that stuff ahead of time. And it's still kind of predatory, because
Which, I mean, at least
anybody's
if they're
gonna-
showing you up front.
yeah,
Like,
anybody's gonna look at it and go, "Oh, I'll get all of that stuff," and you don't have time to get all
Right.
that shit. But yeah, that's the difference. I don't mind that as much as like your loot boxes, and you're just like, pay $2.99 so you can have this headband. You
right.
know?
Yeah. I don't know. That sounds more reasonable.
It
What
does
you
have some predatory stuff. I know I'm gonna get some comments. Battle passes are, I mean, the thing is like you said, we live in a capitalistic society. All of this is predatory. Everything is predatory because America is predatory financially. Period. Like that's how you survive. I'm getting blown up all of a sudden now that I'm recording.
Are they okay? That was one from each of them.
Yeah, they're fine. Okay.
Sorry.
So yeah. So I don't know. Again, I'd love to hear what you guys think. Please be civil. All right, we're just having a discussion.
And I don't know what the fuck I'm talking
And she
about.
doesn't know what it's like. You do. You did good though. I think it was a good point. I'm still of the mind that like, if you're offering me something that I like what seems like a multiplayer tack onto a game, then I feel like just make it free to play. That's what that game's made for. Let me deal with the battle pass or microtransactions. Just let me play this mode, because you're offering a mode at that point.
Yeah. I still struggle with just how payment for entertainment has evolved just in general. We've had this
Or
conversation.
de-bulbed.
Right. About like paying for YouTubers and things like that. And it's just hard for me to wrap my head around that you're paying for specific content. And I know that that's just how things are. And I'm not even against it. It's just...
It's very strange.
It's difficult.
Compared to what we grew up on.
Yeah. It's hard to like move into that and trying to be open-minded. And there were plenty of people... The conversation that was had yesterday, I'm like, oh, I'm way more progressive than I thought I was. But I still have trouble just grasping the concept of, oh, I have to pay for more entertainment even though I paid this one-time thing. So...
Yeah. It's tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, we're really just...
But I get that that's how
Yeah.
it goes. So, I don't know. I have a hard
I've said
time
it
making
before.
an opinion on this.
We're all ghosts of the world we
Yeah.
used to live in. Like, this world is our kids' world and our kids' world at that point. Like,
Yeah, but it's hard to
And-
teach them how to navigate it when you're having such a hard time grasping it yourself.
I think that's the same problem that our parents had and the parents before that. Like, I think by the time you're raising kids, like,
we
you're
raised
raising...
ourselves, our parents.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I wasn't trying to call out our parents.
No, I
on
mean
the
our
show.
generation.
Well, yeah, we did, but at the same time, like, their generation didn't. So it's
yeah,
kind of like...
yeah.
No matter what, it feels like you try to do the opposite of what your parents did, but really by the time you get to the point that you're raising a kid, you don't know what
It's
the world
all
is.
different
Yeah, it's all
anyway.
completely different anyway. You
Yeah.
could be teaching them completely the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Who knows, ladies and gentlemen? That's what life is. Uncertainty. So, we are going to pop over to odds and ends. I think I actually only have one, so it's going to be quick.
Is it
and then we'll
odd
probably
or
be done.
end?
What?
It was a stupid joke. I said, is it an odd or an end?
Well, that's the name of the episode. Right there. Is it odd or end? Right there. Right there, lady. She's naming it. Naming it. All right, everybody. We'll be right back.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Hello! We are back with our final segment. Odds and Ends is where we collect smaller news stories we don't necessarily think deserve a talking point. We just want to tell you. I know we're flying through this show, but we always do when it's just us and we're tired. So, I've got all the odds and ends, obviously, because Melissa does not do game stuff. So, number one, Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider. The rights are up for grabs. That's right. MGM let it go. They had a certain amount of time to greenlight a sequel.
The movie.
Mm-hmm. A sequel, and while they were apparently working towards that goal has evaporated. Which means Amanda Vikander, the person who played Tomb Raider in the movie, will not return for a sequel.
I liked that movie. You didn't like it as much as I did.
Not like it. I did not like it.
Because I think you were comparing it very much to the video game, and I was just like, that was a cool movie.
Well, the thing is it wasn't too bad a movie. I will agree with you. And while I think that movies can be different than the games, I do, there are certain aspects of it that you're like, that's an integral part of the character.
Right.
The fact that her dad was alive, spoilers for a 5-year-old movie.
I was going to say, that's a really, like,
But
Stella
the
wasn't
fact that-
even born when we saw that,
The
was
fact,
she?
yeah, no, definitely not. The fact that her dad just turned out to be alive,
Yeah.
who was this integral part of her, like, character.
Integral.
That's what I just said.
You said integral.
It's a different pronunciation, the same word. Nobody out there was correcting me.
No, they were just judging you.
Oh my god.
Quietly. Integral.
You guys go. It's the Melissa show now. I'm gonna go. Okay. So yeah. So the rights are up for grabs. It has become a bidding war as to what movie studio will get it. I will say the one thing that I did really like about that movie was Amanda Vikander in the role of
Yeah.
Lara Croft, and she's out now, which is kind of I think
That's a
the
bummer.
biggest bummer. Yeah, for me personally. But yeah.
I thought that, didn't we talk like a long time ago that they were making a sequel, or
Mhm.
did that just fall through?
That's the thing. They were talking about a sequel. They had a director attached. Obviously, Amanda Vikander was supposed to come back. It didn't make as much money as they thought they were going to, but supposedly there was still like a scriptwriter involved in everything, and they had a certain amount of time to actually greenlight the sequel, and they never did, even though they had these people attached. So it has
You know
just
what?
reverted back
Go on
into
a
space.
small rant here.
Go for it. We got time. Well, way
They
ahead.
need to stop making movies and leaving them open for a sequel
Mhm.
if you don't have the sequel in the bag. Because every single movie they make now, they leave it open for a sequel. Every single movie, like, you end the movie and you're like, oh, they're going to do a sequel. Can't wait for that to come out. And then it's hit or miss whether or not it's actually going to come out. If you don't have it greenlit, just fucking end the movie. Just end the story. End it. It's so frustrating.
Let's go ahead and roll that into gaming, because that's what's happening in gaming. That's one of the biggest problems we have in gaming right now is what's called franchise fatigue. We have these games that are up at like 6th and 7th entry into the series. It's like the people, and those games have 3-year, 4-year, 5-year developments. Like the people who played the first one aren't even alive anymore. Like it's crazy.
True.
It is on some of them.
Video games aren't that old.
Still, like, you have just these huge, like, I mean, I can tell you about the Skyrim grandma. And she's gonna be dead before the 6th one comes out, 100%, and it's real sad.
Okay, I'm sure some people will die.
There
I
we
bet
go.
generationally, the
Here
children
we go.
who grew up
Here we go.
playing
Here's the
the
caveat.
games.
I can't just be right, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
Can't just be like, you know what? Good play, Zach.
there's always an exception.
Yes,
You're saying it so generalized, like everybody who played the first video game.
Did you guys know she's a paralegal? I don't know if you know this from the way she talks or argues, but she's actually a paralegal. She's very legally inclined. In any case, yeah. So, so you have this. It's the same with movies. Everything is based on the next one. And I'll tell you, even John Wick, how much I love it. I'll insult it right now. Keanu Reeves has gone on record and saying, I'll keep making them as long as I can. Well, I don't want that. I want the resolution of the story
Right,
so we can move
right.
on to something else. Like, every time the movie ends, I'm like, okay, I still don't know what happens to John. Like, it's like you...
Just get a puppy, find a woman, move on and
Yeah.
retire. Like, come on, we want you to be happy, fucker.
Yeah, just be happy, man. Jesus. I mean, yeah, it's the same with, like, the
Oh, he got a
MCU.
puppy, didn't he?
The MCU to be... Yeah, he did. He's got that big dog that he got
He
from
had the
vet.
big dog
Yeah.
and the new car.
No, the last movie ended with him falling to his death off a roof and then not being dead.
That's right.
Yeah.
Get a new car, keep your dog, find a woman, call it a day.
Same with the MCU. To be caught up on the MCU, you would have to watch how much
Yeah.
time? And the MCU started in what, the early 2000s?
Yeah, I think like 02.
Yeah, now we're really talking about a series of movies and shows that you would have to, like, you are really talking about people could be dead by the time that thing is that. Like, stuff like that is ridiculous to me. And wrap it up, try new things, but
Yeah.
both movies and video game companies have this problem with, like, risking it to get the biscuit. They want the guaranteed money. If Master Chief isn't in it, we're not going to make any money.
Well, right, but
You know?
but my problem is, and I don't argue that point. I think they need to just let things end. But don't leave it open
Right.
if you aren't 100% sure.
Right.
Like, by the time they finish a Marvel movie, not to defend Marvel, because you're getting to a point of jumping the shark, I feel like. But
They jumped like 6 sharks at this point.
but when they end whatever the last one is, they know the next one, like, they're already filming the next one. Like, they know it's 100% gonna be in the can. It's coming out. They left Tomb Raider open, and I mean, not that I care that much about that movie, but I remember it ending and being like, oh, I want to know what happens. Don't leave it open
Right.
if you don't have the other one in the can, or
Right.
close to it. What?
Nothing. I totally agree with you. 100%.
It's a term.
I agree with you!
Don't make fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you. Did I make fun of her? I made fun of the lawyer thing. That was a while ago. The other thing, ladies and gentlemen, if you're trying to get a Steam Deck. If you're
What?
trying to get a Steam Deck.
That sounds like a dirty sexual poop thing.
You know what a Steam Deck is.
No, I don't. What's this Steam?
The Steam Deck. The handheld Steam Deck. We've had whole conversations about it. That rival Nintendo from Valve. Oh my,
We've had
no,
conversations?
this is ridiculous. We have had huge conversations about the Steam Deck. Because it's something I want, but I won't buy because I don't want to waste the money on it. Because it's like, it's a PC, it's a handheld PC. That's like
I remember.
the
I
same
didn't know
amount
that
as a
was what it was
Switch.
called. I didn't know that was what it was called. I do
I've called
remember
it
you
the
saying
Steam Deck.
this.
I've called it the Steam Deck.
I'm sure you have. I didn't remember that was what it was called.
I want to point out to everybody out there, I am repeatedly told I never listen to anything she says and never remember anything she says. But when I point out, oh my God, it's like, you never said that. You definitely never said that. It's not like I could have forgotten too.
No. I didn't say you never did. I didn't say you never did. I didn't know what you were talking about. After you explained it, I do not remember. I don't remember knowing what it was called.
What do you guys think? Is she lying or is she with me? Comment below.
I didn't.
Drumming it up.
Didn't remember.
Drumming it up. Okay, so
I didn't say you didn't do
Steam,
something.
Steam Deck, they've kind of had an availability issue. I mean, purposely, I think they've kind of handled their availability issue pretty well so far. Like, the first people, they've just been giving them out as their pre-orders came in. They also came up with a new system for having people pre-order it that made it much harder for bots to just buy 400. So they've been handling it pretty well, but they have gone ahead and announced that their shortage, their availability issues are coming to an end, and that if you want a Steam Deck and you order a Steam Deck, you will probably be getting it pretty soon.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I love the Steam Deck. I would love to one day own a Steam Deck, but I just can't bring myself to drop $300 on a handheld PC. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. Maybe if we hadn't gotten the Switch, I would think about it, but we got the Switch.
What kind of games does it play?
Plays just about everything I can play on my PC. That's what's so amazing
Then
about
play
it.
it on your PC.
Well, yeah, but it's handheld. So I could like play it while Stella's going to bed, or I could play it on the road, or I could play it at the library. No, because you got to use the cloud for that. And look at this little screen. No.
You're 40 years old. Do you need that much constant entertainment?
I need it now more than ever. I'm 40 years old.
Read a book.
No. You can't tell me to read
I
a
don't
book.
read books. Listen to a podcast or whatever. You have nice headphones that you wear wrong.
Why are you... It's a cool piece of equipment. I can want one.
It's the same thing as you have right here.
No, it isn't, because
You
that's
put your love
40
and time
pounds.
into this.
Oh, put that on my back and... I did put my love and time into that. I do love that. I'm not saying that...
You purposely got this versus a laptop, so it's a laptop.
What?
It's a versatile, movable computer. It's a laptop.
Yeah, but it's cooler than a laptop. It just is. Sorry. She's not going to get it, guys. She's not going to get it on this one. I think it's a cool device. I can't bring myself to purchase it, but I think it's a very cool device. And I still...
It's just for video games.
No, you can do anything on it. That's what's awesome about it.
Almost like a laptop.
Yes. How much does a laptop cost?
I have no idea.
Yeah. This costs less. And runs better.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because I watched the reviews.
Nobody's has them.
They do have them. They give them to IGN and shit.
IGN. I forgot.
They give them to
IGN
multiple
says
sources. Many
everything
people
right.
liked it. Many people liked it.
You know what else many people
Oh my
liked?
god, this is ridiculous. This shows off the
Communism.
What? Did you just compare the Steam Deck to communism?
No, I compared
You did!
I compared your many people liked it to communism.
That's insane. That's insane. She's
many
just doing
people
this so
like
that I
a lot
won't...
of things.
She's just doing this so I
Doesn't
won't
make
ask
it
her to
good.
fill in for Neil ever again. That's all she's doing, because this is insanity. Oh my god. Well, the Steam Deck is not like communism, number one. And number two, it is a very cool device. And if you were thinking about purchasing it, then its availability is becoming... you're not going to be on as much of a waiting list. So that's really awesome. I do love anything that equals more of the chip shortage going away, because that's a bummer. Because at some point I'm going to need a graphics card for this thing, and...
Divorce without children's about $800 now. Just factor that into your budget.
I might. I won't be judged for wanting a Steam Deck. All right, everybody. We're going to go to plugs, and then we're going to get out of it. We're going to get out of here.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, we're back. It's time to end this show for the betterment of our marriage.
We didn't do a prelude this week.
Yeah, we didn't do a prelude.
You
You
get
get extra Melissa, which basically her trying to get divorced on air. So we're done. We're gonna plug it up real quick and be done. I know this was a quick show, guys, but we got what we wanted to say out, and I didn't have a ton of odds and ends. And honestly, I asked to be off this week, and then found out Neil had COVID. So you're lucky you're getting the show, I guess. That's what I should do. I should blame them. Yeah, it's your fault. But listen, you have anything you want to plug?
No.
All right, I'll plug it for her. She is the best real estate title agent in the state of Ohio. An absolutely premier skill in that area. Standing Rock Title out of Kent. She works out of the Hometown Bank office, and she is absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to go ahead and say even further. Have you ever called a title company and thought to yourself, man, I got to talk to 3 people, and I don't like the person I'm talking to, and I never feel like they're getting anything done? You call Standing Rock Title, you get Melissa Van Sliders. That's who you get.
Just me.
100%. It's just her. She's going to handle it. If you're in the state of Ohio and you need to do a real estate transaction of any kind, boom. Because you call that number, you get Melissa Van Sliders. She calls you back. There's no employee there because they don't have enough money yet. They will, and eventually I'll be wrong. But right now I'm saying it, personal touch from Melissa. What's that number?
330-474-3000.
It's easy to remember. It's easy to remember.
Yeah, 474-3000.
I don't like how much you had to think about that.
I don't use it that often.
Standing Rock Title. I'm saying right now, if you've got a real estate thing, if you have a real estate transaction of any kind and you don't go to Melissa Van Sliders, don't fucking watch this show. Turn it off. I want nothing to do with you because you've made a huge mistake. A terrible mistake.
Okay, moving on.
What were we talking about? So, as far as plugs go, I do want to plug something very special. This weekend, I am doing the longest live stream I've ever done. So it'll be interesting to see just how long I can talk. But noon...
It's a long time.
Yeah, like you had to cut your yarn off. You're like, I got to cut this off so I can say something on that shit. Noon to 5 on this channel. Even though we have an Axiom Games channel, it's going to be on this channel. We are going to do a live stream for the launch of the brand new tabletop RPG, Upper Hand, the first game produced by my and Mark Bell's tabletop RPG company, Axiom Games LLC. We're really proud of this. Here, hand me one of the books. I can show him one of the books. I mean, it wasn't that big of a request.
I didn't want to drop the cards.
I'm just messing with you. This right here, we're going to be talking about it. I'm going to watch the newest episode of UHW with you guys. We're going to do I like this. Can you come on the live stream on Saturday and just do Vanna White hands?
Can they read it?
Yeah, they can read it. You can see. You can read. They can read it.
It's like crooked. I'm trying to get it straight.
It's good. You guys can come 12/5, chat with me. I'm gonna watch the latest episode of UHW, our live play show that we've been doing of this. I'm going to also we're gonna debut our advertisements.
Those are fun.
She was the camera girl for it. We just recorded for them. I've got to edit them up, but they should be a lot of fun and terrible. But myself, and thanks to Phil Blazik, our cover artist, for helping out with that. So I'm going to debut that there. I'm going to try and get a live demo going, maybe with Phil. He said he might stop in. And yeah, so we're gonna have a good time. 5 hours. We're gonna talk about it. I'll also be answering any questions. We will have a link in our description on that day of where you can go to buy the game. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Even if you don't want to buy the game, just stop in, chit chat with me, hang out. I'd love to hear from you. Okay. That's the big plug for this week. Everything else stays the same. I do want to just also say that our lunch stream, if you are a watcher of that, which then turned to our breakfast stream if you are a watcher of that. We'll have to move indefinitely to Tuesdays from here on out. I am resuming my day job as a child caregiver. And
He's a Manny.
Manny's all right. I'm all right with that. Manny's all right. I'm a Manny. But the shift has changed to Wednesdays and Thursdays, so I decided to switch it to Tuesdays. So yeah, if you want to keep watching that, we're going to be moving to Tuesdays. All right. So that's it, everybody. You can contact us Facebook at Old Man Gaming DH. You can contact us on Twitter at Old Man Gaming 9. You can join our Discord. Link is in the description below. You can influence us in all of our shows from there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as long as you keep watching and listening, we'll keep making them.
Bye.
See you guys next week.
Meow, meow, meow.
Meow, meow, meow. I hadn't stopped recording. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut that out. Stop!
You already said goodbye.
All of this is staying, and this is going to be a bonus.